So excited to welcome back Grant Cardone to the Business Mentor podcast. We interviewed him recently and that was a great interview, so it's great to have him back.
I'm sitting on an enormous amount of money and it's trash. First thing you got to do is you got to get real. There's going to be a major contraction. It is going to kill housing.
Yeah.
It's going to be the highest unemployment that we've ever had. This is way before this thing even hit, right?
Yeah.
You don't understand the severity of this situation.
Grant, welcome to the Business Mentor podcast. Thank you for coming on again. Really appreciate that.
You're the man. Thank you.
Thank you. So last time we met at the castle, that's a great fun. It's a great interview. Lots of good conversation. I want to talk about that because some conversations we did there has actually come out now. So, but before we go into it, I want to talk about the virus. And there's a lot of talk about the virus. You know, just from your point of view, you know, what do you think of this virus? And before we go into the economic stuff.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a speculator. I'm not a conspiracy guy. So, I don't even actually know, you know, if what I think about the virus even matters, because at the end of the day, it's like a car wreck, right?
Yeah.
Who caused it, why it happened, how it happened, kind of doesn't matter until we clean it up. So I don't have a lot of attention on how it came about. Well, you know, is it man-made, organic, 100-year cycles, governments involved, who let it spread? To me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do now?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, your house is on fire. You show up at your house and the house is burning down to the ground. You don't say who started this.
Yeah, that's right.
You put it out. You probably ought to start fixing it, and then maybe figure out, you know, how to make sure it doesn't happen again. But bad things happen to good people. I said this to you when we met last time, man. Bad things happen to good people. I don't know why everybody gets all surprised.
Yeah.
This one, I think the thing that surprises everybody about this one is how big, how immense, how everybody is touched. Because you can't. It's just hard. It's hard to wake up every day and imagine, you know, that. I mean, you got to be something wrong with you to even think about. You got to be Stephen King to think this kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting because that leads me on, because when we had the last conversation, I talked about the recession. And, you know, you said there's going to be a massive contraction. And obviously you didn't, we didn't expect this. This has come out the blue. And there's a lot of solar entrepreneurs who are just being wiped out. There's a lot of big businesses. I mean, a friend of mine had to let go of 400 staff. And look, I run a big company, you know, I've employed over 400 staff. So I know decisions have to be made. But, you know, what in your, you know, we talked about the contraction before, right?
So I've gotten so much negativity when I tell people, look, there's going to be a major contraction. It is going to kill housing.
Yeah.
There's going to be the highest unemployment that we've ever had. This is way before this thing even hit, right?
Yeah.
And you guys need to prepare for it. I've been telling people this for years. Look, the solopreneurs, I made warnings to the solopreneurs. Don't try to go into an economy by yourself. It's too small.
Yeah.
You know, number two, monetize. You need to make money. You cannot do all this free content and think that one day you're going to pop out the other side and be a star and people are going to suddenly pay you. I know guys that have millions of followers that are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills this month. Three, I told people, avoid houses. If you own a house, sell it. If you got equity in one, get out of it. And if you're trying to buy one, don't do it. I mean, Tom Brady today is talking about how he rents where he lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And four, I told people, leave the stock market and paper products alone. You trade paper for paper. Five, I told people, leave the Lambos alone. Leave the watches alone. Unless you're paying for this stuff with passive income, and you can buy it twice with cash, somebody else's money.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay that money back, and you didn't have to trade time for it. So I think a lot of people just don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. Because we talked about it, and you said these exact words for people will get wiped out.
We're going to go through a massive economic global. We're going to go through a global contraction, probably the most severe contraction anybody's ever experienced in your living era. because of job disruption, we're already seeing signs, and you're going to see this happen in a lot of different spaces where you look back at Blockbuster today and everybody's like, I can't believe they didn't pay attention. You're not paying attention right now.
And it's happened. And like you said, you know, because I'd been through it in 2009, I'm prepared anyway. And we were just trying to get it out to the masses. And obviously, if people could listen to that now, go back, they'd realize that, you know, something can happen that's uncontrollable. 6.6 million people unemployed in the US. There's 28 trillions of dollars of Fed have done and 28 trillion taken off the stock market. Shit's happened. You know, this stuff's happened, and it's about reacting to it and making sure that you're prepared. So look, you know, we talk about expansion. We read, you know, the 10X book. You know, it's about expansion. So what is in this day and age now? You know, obviously we've got to look after ourselves. What are you suggesting to do now for people that are in this now? You know, what kind of things are you suggesting?
Yeah. So first thing you got to do is you got to get real. Like people running out buying toilet paper. I'm like, why are you worried about toilet paper? You guys, the only reason you worried about toilet paper is because you think, oh, you still want to be comfortable. I mean, we'll just take that one example. Right?
Yeah.
Millions of people around the world ran to the store to get toilet paper and paper products. Like, if that was your first move, you don't understand the severity of this situation, or you forgot what it's like to be broke, or you've never been broke. Because when you're broke, toilet paper is not the first thing on the list.
100%.
Kleenex, toilet paper, wipes, you know, paper products, Lysol. That's not the first thing on your list. The first thing on your list is, look, I need food and water, and I need housing. And so what I tell people to do right now, number one, you got to get to acceptance as fast as you possibly can. Acceptance means I'm in a shitstorm. This is out of my control. It's bigger than I know. I don't know what to do. I need help. Until it's like addiction. When I was 25 years old, it took me 9 or 10 years to finally raise my hand and say, I need help. So I had to suffer for 10 years through denial, anger, blame, bargaining, and that cycle. Denial, blame, bargaining, depression, thinking something was terrible with me. The last 3 years I had a drug problem. It was like, I wasn't in denial, dude. I was in just depression and self-deprecation and a lack of self-respect. It wasn't until I finally said, hey, I need help. And I think that that's what people need to do right now. If you haven't picked a mentor yet, a mentor. Yeah. One person to follow. You cannot afford 5 gurus right now. Yeah. Not because you don't have the money. You cannot afford the 5 conflicts. You need one person to get you through this deal. And some people are going to be like, well, who should that be? Or, you know, one person can't have all the advice for everything in life. That's what I mean. Like, why would you be looking for 5 different places to improve your life right now? The only thing people should be worried about right now is their assets. How am I going to fund? How am I going to pay for? And again, if you go back to the interview you and I did, this is what I was talking about. Like, it's like, you can't help your church until you help yourself. You can't help your kids until you help yourself. Yeah. And so, what you're saying is evergreen. You know, that's just. It's evergreen unless you're in the illusion of this great economy, which was not a great economy, by the way, except for super rich people that know how to bend and warp the universe. So people are watching the stock market today. When do I get in? You're hallucinating if that's what you're thinking about right now. And again, like, it's gambling, you know, gambling that is, you know what I mean? Because totally, bro, it's because you're looking for a score. Yeah. I'm not looking for a score. I'm looking to improve the quality of my life. One little bit every day. If I can improve the quality of my financial life, 1% a day. Yeah. Just do the math. 1 penny a day for the next 30 days. If I could just double that, just double it, a penny. I'm just looking for little advancements. And for the first thing people have to do is go to zero. That's what I would tell you to do. Get to zero. Get your 401k, your IRA, whatever you got in a retirement account. Figure out, hey, how do I take all that to zero? Not maybe physically, but mentally. Yeah. Don't think you have that over there. because you could go through that in this process. And then say, okay, how do I start rebuilding from zero? Even if it's just a mental game you're playing.
Yeah.
Well, like if you gave me $100 today and you said, hey, you don't have any money, you got $100. I'd take the 100 and I'd bring it to the bank and give it to them and say, I don't want that money. And then I would be back at zero. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not going to bankrupt myself on purpose. I'm going to go to zero mentally. And then I'm going to be like, I got to go get another 100 now. I got 100 over there. I got to add $1 to that 100. Now I'm at 101, 102, 105, 110. And I got to rebuild. That's very humbling. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
Like when people see, they don't see me as a very humble person. But if you watch me work every day, you'd be like, dude, that guy's sitting on all this green stacks and he acts like every day.
Yeah.
We're selling $10 masks. Let me show you my little mask.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look at that.
Somebody sent me this little mask. Okay. I wore it. Everybody wanted it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my cost is $8.50. We priced it $10. We sold $250 in an hour. So now why would I sell this? I mean, I gotta put it in a box. We're not making any money on it, right? But it gets my brand out.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't cost me anything to get my brand out. So to me, it's $1. To me, it's 10 cents. It's 15 cents. I got profit on a product, which gives me some enthusiasm. It gets me a client. It gets me somebody on my website. I mean, it's a bit of a gimmick, right? I mean, it's a super quality product.
Man, it
right?
looks good, man. It looks good. And it is what it is. People going to buy that stuff, man.
Yeah, so some people would be, I'm going to China. I'm going to figure out how to do a little paper thing. It's going to cost me 10 cents. I'm going to sell it for $10 and I'm going to make $9.90. Dude, $9 can't solve your problems.
Yeah, yeah.
This problem is this is probably $100 trillion worldwide problem. We've already gone through $6 trillion in the US in one country. And we're not done. We're probably going to go to 10 or 15 trillion added to our $22 trillion worth of debt. So you see what I'm saying, dude? Like $1 doesn't solve the problem. So why wouldn't I just get more customers with it? Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
But I need to monetize with it. Okay. So my Instagram post all of a sudden went from a bunch of likes to a bunch of transactions at my website. Now I got $1.8 billion worth of real estate. What am I doing messing with this? Okay. Because it becomes a customer. And that's what you do when you understand you've been zeroed.
Yeah.
You don't like, hey, I got $1 billion worth of real estate. I'm just going to work on my loans. I'm just going to work on my real estate. I got to work on everything right now. Stay humble.
So what you're saying in a sense is true. You got to like expand and go on the offensive now. You can't rely upon stuff because whatever you're going to rely upon, that could just go anywhere. Just like things are happening. Just like with.
I'm not watching like I walk in here, my TV's on. I'm like, oh, stock market's up 800. It's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
not playing that game. I should probably not even have it on because it seduces me. It's like the hot chick that walks into the room.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care that I'm married. You know, she's throwing the vibes at me anyway. She doesn't care. Like, well, I need to leave the room. She's not doing the wrong thing. I am.
Yeah.
Even being in the room. So you got to get discipline in real strong right now.
Yeah.
First, take yourself to zero. Second thing, turn that TV off. Don't walk in rooms if you're married and there's some hot chicks throwing their vibe out, you know, looking to put their hooks in you because they want to run a game. I'm not talking about women. Men, it could be men, women, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the fact that I walked into a room. Like you got to get discipline in right now. And I don't have time for Netflix and TV and Instagram. These social mediums are going to destroy people. Good for you that you're putting up good content.
Yeah.
But the person that watches this one is going to watch 4 other influencers. And by the time they watch 5 of them, they'll do nothing because this is all going to be like one guy's meditating. I'm telling you to 10X. Another guy's doing the conspiracy thing. Brian Rose, I know Brian Rose is going to cover the conspiracy of this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Dan Pena is going to tell you to, just cuss at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Gary's going to tell you to do it for free. And by the time you're done, bro, like you go to church this weekend, Jesus says, hey, pray and don't work on Sundays. It's going to be like, shit, I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm confused now. It's better to drop me out. Drop me, drop Gary, drop Brian, drop everybody, and pick one guy.
Yeah.
And figure out if that works or not.
You're so right. There's so many messages now. There's bloody. I mean, the stock market guys having a field day selling their stuff because, like you said, it's an addiction now. People think, oh, when you gonna catch a falling knife? But that's just again that you're putting yourself.
All you got to do right now is notice that they're doing 2 and 3 minutes of content before they go to news. Their ad dollars are going up right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Just watch. They're doing 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, we're off to a break again. Why? Because they got ad dollars. Why? Because they know they got eyeballs right now at home. The coronavirus is going to benefit
100%.
Mass media.
Well, I think Brian Rose, he did an interview with David Icke, and that just blew up in the UK. And that's getting eyeballs because it's just, again, giving a different viewpoint.
What's it about?
Do you know what I mean?
Is it about how Corona got started, 5G?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you know. Again, I don't think you're really interested in 5G, but there's a conspiracy, and I just don't get involved in that. I'm just on about business.
Whatever. Look. The virus is in 184 countries or something.
Yeah.
I think 5G's in 5 countries. So,
well,
see these cards right here. If you know anything about, I got a deck of cards because I'm playing with me and my daughter are quarantined right now, so I'm teaching her a game called Chin Rummy.
Nice.
But these cards, the 6, 7, and the 9, if you're playing poker, these cards are almost worthless. They're right in the middle. They're in the middle of the pack. Anybody gets seduced by the 10, the jack, the queen, unless they run together, they're useless cards because they're in the middle.
Yeah.
In poker, you got to have aces. You need kings. You need to go to the end of the spectrum, unless you're a great player and you can bluff people.
Yeah.
The cards in the middle. The people in the middle. England's known this for years. You call it classes, and most of you surrender to the class.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle, you're going to get destroyed. You're being used.
Yeah, definitely. And this thing is definitely, we talked about India before because my parents are from India, and there's a massive lockdown. My parents went there for a holiday. My in-laws went there. They can't get back. They're stuck there. They're from the UK. So this shit is real. And it's not going anywhere, and you've got to do something about it. And I think the advice you're giving now is, just look at ways you can increase revenues, go on the offensive, don't try and wait for handouts. Just get on the offensive because you're zero now.
Let me give you an example, because a lot of people don't have access to this data, but let me tell you something and I'm glad you did this with me because
appreciate that.
Most people don't have access to people that have big assets. Okay.
Yeah.
When this thing happened, I was in Colorado. I called my wife up and said, okay, I got to get home to you. I had a private jet. It's paid for. So you're like, okay, I got to look at it. Man, it's a $40 million plane. What's it worth to me? Everything. It's worth $1 billion to me. Why? People are like, how can that be worth anything? Because it gets me and my family wherever I want to go. It's worth more than toilet paper. I don't need toilet paper as long as I got freedom. Now, here's the catch. Then I realized I can't really go any place in it because I can get out of the country. But the problem now is, these are the problems people need to be calculating with. I can get out of the country. I don't care what it costs to get out. If I need to leave, I want to get out. But now I can't get back in. You start playing this game of Monopoly, and everywhere you go, it's a checkmate. So then it's okay, where do I want to be so I can go there? And everybody needs to make this calculation right now. What assets do you have that are liabilities?
Yeah.
Is your location a liability? Like my 2 kids, as much as I love my 2 kids, they're the greatest liability I have because I worry about them.
100%.
If somebody went and grabbed them, I'm like, hey, what do you want? I'll give you the plane. You follow what I'm saying? So
100%.
One day, whatever is your asset one day could be a liability the next second. The liabilities that you have and that other people have. I'm doing this in a mentor class right now where people join me every Thursday and we go over assets and liabilities and figure out how to move assets. My assets become a liability. I got to move them back into assets. And also I can look into your life and say, hey, your liabilities could become assets for me if I could get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not trading money to buy things, but I'm getting rid of your liabilities for you and getting assets for me. It's so simple. It's a little complex, and typically people need help doing it.
Yeah.
Extremely wealthy people know how to play this game. That's why guys play the stock market, because they know how to convert other people's problems into money.
Okay.
Everybody can play this game, right? Like you got stuff in your back. Well, you're trading your content right now for people's eyeballs. Whether or not this converts to some money, monetization for you, I don't know.
Yeah, we've got an academy. So yeah, look, the thing is, what just quickly, Grant, on the mentoring thing, because I want to just get that for you, because when you mentioned getting a mentor and getting the right mentor, I just want to play on that a little bit, because that helped me in the 2009 recession. So what you're saying is correct in a sense that if you can get a mentor, get the right mentor, and they can seriously help you out here. You know, I speak with my clients all the time, because I've been there and I can see a little way. But if you get the wrong advice, or you get too much advice, that's probably a great way of saying it, Grant. You know, too much, you're confused and you'll do nothing.
The reason people are lazy is because they have data that's conflicting, because no human being on this planet, there's not one human being on this planet that is actually lazy by nature. The living organism is not a lazy organism. It is a expanding, survival, interested in expansion. Like when you're born, the cell itself, the little tiny cell, look what it goes from this tiny cell you can't see.
Yeah.
It's not, you can barely see under a microscope, to something that becomes this living, breathing organism that wants to live and grow and have ideas. And the only way you get lazy is if you got too much data. Be satisfied.
Yeah.
Be happy with what you have. You're in India. You can't get outside. You can't go. Okay. Now we got this epidemic. Don't go outside. It's not safe. You're going to get sick, blah, blah, blah. And it conflicts the individual to where the organism doesn't grow anymore. That's why I went and checked in with my wife, grabbed one of my kids, said, I'm going to go to my church. All I'm going to do now for 3 or 4 days, get me and one of my daughters in the best spiritual condition.
Yeah.
Because I'm the ultimate asset for me. And then I was going to bring my wife and kid in, and then everything got shut down. So we're separated from one another right now. But the first thing I came to work on was me.
Yeah.
I came to get the mentoring that works for me. Hey, let me handle my losses right now. Let me handle any things that are in my way that I can't see the way out of this. So I've been here, 7 or 8 days just working on myself, figuring out how do I get myself to the other side of this.
Yeah.
In the best possible condition. Because I know I'm going to get to the other side. Everybody will get to the other side. Everyone. The question is, what are you going to look like on the other side?
Yeah, that's true. You're either going to be going forward, because, like winners and losers, it's going to happen. And, just some great advice there. One thing I want to touch on, Grant, one thing is, I don't think people get this philosophy was when you say cash is trash. Now, let me explain what I think, and I'm sure the way I look at it is, if you've got cash and it's doing nothing, it's trash basically. But having a bit of a fund there just to expand is a good thing as well. So I think people get confused where you're saying, "Oh, cash is worth nothing." But if you've got cash now, then you can do more expansion. You can move a bit faster. Right?
Well, yeah, but the cash by itself is not going to do any expanding.
Yeah, of course. You've got to use it.
Money is useless until it is used. People are scrambling. It's got to be used though, right? I'd rather the ads. Now, if I take the money, convert it to an ad, and only run one ad, that's not going to do anything either. You're competing with coronavirus right now. You ain't going to win that ad.
Yeah.
You're not going to win that, because bad news, like my friend Kevin Hart said on stage at the 10X Growth Conference, bad news travels.
Yeah.
Good news don't.
100%.
So interesting that people want this. They'll buy this faster than they'll buy the book. And by the way, the book is the same price.
Yeah.
But this has got bad news attached to it, right? It's a bit of a gimmick and people find it fun and everything, but
it sells, man.
Yeah, cash,
you know what I mean?
Cash is trash. Now, if you have enough cash and you're like, okay, I'm going to go make a play right now on some property. Well, the reality is Even if you have $100 million right now, you can't go buy any property today because the guys that own the property are not yet in a position to where they value your cash more than they value their property.
Yeah.
So you got to get cash. Cash is only good when you can do business with people.
Yeah.
So again, the guy with the property, unless he's in a big jam.
Yeah. If you don't use the cash in the right way, it is trash because inflation's killing it anyway. But if you've got the cash and you know what to do with it, more importantly, then it's powerful. Because you can have cash and do the wrong things and it's not powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, I'm sitting on an enormous amount of money and it's trash. It is worthless. What is it? It is digits in a bank account. It's like, I learned this from a billionaire. He showed me his account. There was $2.2 billion in cash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, man, it's useless right now until it goes to work. And what is it for anyway? That's the point of that comment. What is it for? Oh, I could donate it to my church. Now it's worth something. We bought 36,000 meals for first responders yesterday.
Awesome.
Trash got converted to food, by the way, which they could have bought anyway.
Yeah.
But it valued the first responders, the nurses, the fire departments, the police people, and said, hey, it's really, cash became appreciation, not just meals.
Yeah.
For people that are wearing masks every day, putting themselves at risk, treating people.
Yeah.
So, if I can convert that money to property, which I hope I'm able to, that'd be great. But I can't do that right now because the debt markets are all jacked up. Nobody knows how to loan money on a deal right now. People are terrified. So again, that money will just sit in the bank. The government's going to print trillions of dollars. It's going to become less useless or yet less useful. And so I got to find out what do people value today? Hey, if we'd have just known, dude, we'd have all had toilet paper last week.
Yeah, definitely.
Because anybody that had toilet paper or Clorox, you made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
People traded trash for Clorox products that 3 months from now is going to be worthless.
Yeah. Well, there's people here chucking food out now because they're overbought and they just like panic buy. But again, it's thing.
Yeah.
So I've got one more question. I have a quick wrap up and appreciate your time. So, we've got a lot of people now. You've got a big following. You've got 10 million subscribers and followers. And you put a lot out there, Grant. You put loads out there, and people can consume that. And that's amazing. You've got your programs as well. But how do you deal with like any negativity? Because you're out there so much, you're going to, people are obviously going to attract negativity. How do you maintain a positive mind? Because you're going to see some of this stuff, it's obvious, but you've got your, at the moment, we've got bigger problems than that anyway, but how do you maintain the balance? Because some people might, with the negativity, like fall away, but how do you maintain that,
Yeah, it's not easy, but, we got rid of 35 people the first week that this happened. And,
yeah.
So, people went on the internet and started saying, oh, Grant Cardone's firing people and he's a terrible person. And he's, just got to see, you got to consider the source of where it's coming from. Right.
Yeah.
I got, they don't tell people that I have 500 employees left and my payroll is, $18 million a year. They just look at who I got rid of and make a bunch of noise about it. And then other people watch it and, why are you watching that?
Yeah.
So again, it's how do you handle it? It's coming. It's part of the game. Like you cannot have success without having haters. It goes like this: you get attention, people are going to disagree with it, then people are going to hate on you for it. If you stick with it, hopefully you stick with it and get the haters. The haters is where because you keep pushing on it.
Yeah.
And then boom, finally one day people are like, hey, shit, that guy's right.
Yeah.
That guy was right. And then some of those people that are hating on you gonna be like, hey, bro, you know, like I always knew you were right, man.
Yeah, it's difficult.
I'm like, yeah, weren't you the guy that was hating on me back then? Probably not, because you know these guys, they don't even have a face on social media.
Yeah. And look, I you know, in the last recession, I had to get rid of a lot of people. And trust me, it's not easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
And unless people have got rid of 50, 60, 70 people and realize they have to do it to survive the business and to pivot, I think it's hard to comment. You know, I've never seen someone who's run a big company ever come out and say, oh, you know, he's laid off, because they understand.
They never do. They never do.
You know what I mean? So,
they never do. They never do. I have, and they don't comment on that kind of stuff, and they're not going to watch that video anyway.
No, that's why it's good to have these conversations, because, you know, big businesses, you've got solo entrepreneurs and you've got big businesses. But, you know, look, it's been a great interview. I really appreciate your time. I know you should.
Hey, Jay, I appreciate you. And let me just say, like leaders.
Yeah.
You know, people that don't lead, they want to believe that everything is perfect and that you're not gonna have to kill somebody in the process.
Yeah.
You know, you're a leader in a mission. You probably somebody gonna die on this mission. Everybody signed up knowing they could die.
Yeah.
And so for you guys out there that are going through this and it's tough and it's hurting you, and you make sure you don't destroy your team, and make sure you achieve your mission with the fewest losses possible. But man, there are going to be some losses.
Here in the UK, Grant, the government's bailing a lot of the wages out. So it's giving like a 3-month holiday period for people, salaries. But that's going to end in 3 months. So I'm encouraging business in the UK.
People are going to go for it, too. They're going to go for it because they're like, hey, that's easy money.
Yeah, but they don't understand what's coming at the end.
All you're doing is adding the inevitable. Now you're going to go to work when the 8 or 9 or 12 weeks burns off, and everybody's going to be looking at 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Go look now. If you're going to take the money, by the way, take it and understand that your job right now is to get a job. Don't wait until the money runs out.
100%. Now look, hopefully people can see us. You know, it's 9:30 in the UK. I'm working like 14 hours a day, working hard, even though we've got secured assets now. But we're working hard. So people like myself and yourself, we're still working hard. We're trying to say, if you take this inspiration, if we're doing it, you should be doing it, and get the support, get the right support. You know, obviously I've met with Grant. We spent time together at the castle. So I know your stuff, what you say, man, it is what it is. And if you go back and watch the original interview, you'll kind of see this thing playing out now, you know, and you've said it on record. But yeah, so I want to thank you, Grant. I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
You know, stay strong as well yourself, Grant.
Thank you, brother. I am. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
So thank you for watching that video. If you want to see other videos and great guests, make sure you subscribe and like the video. So you can now head over to my website where you can see a bit of my story of building and scaling my businesses, and also all the free resources and tools which you can help you on your journey in your brand and your business. You can also subscribe on the podcast, so you can check on iTunes, Spotify, and other locations where you can find the podcast. And I look forward to catching you very soon. Thank you.